Hello, welcome back to Sir Assist. Adam here, and today I'm going to be carrying on my World Cup scouting, where I'm going to be looking at Group F in the upcoming World Cup. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not signed up to Sir yet, sign up using the link below to get a free limited card and 13 common cards. Check out my Patreon and SirAssist.com. Okay guys, let's get stuck into today's content then. So as I say, I'm going to be looking at Group F today in the upcoming World Cup in Qatar. I've already covered Groups A, B, C, D and E. And today, like I say, I'm going to be covering Group F. I'm going to be looking at the teams in this group, the odds as well, and also picking out the best targets for this group for each team. I'll also be revealing my dream SO5 team from the players in this group as well at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And remember, none of this content is financial advice. So let's kick things off as normal by looking at the teams in the group first of all, looking who the favourites are, that sort of thing. So here we are then, here is Group F in the upcoming World Cup. So as you can see, Belgium are the heavy favourites here, followed by Croatia. Then we've got Canada and Morocco as well. So it looks like Belgium and Croatia are the obvious favourites here to qualify from this group. I think Belgium should do really well in this group. Croatia have an outside chance as well. Obviously they did reach the semi-finals a few years ago in the last World Cup. You never know, Canada or Morocco, some of their players might get some goals, you never know. So we'll be highlighting some of those players as well in this video. So let's start with the goalkeepers, and then I'll be moving on to defenders, midfielders and forwards. So the first goalkeeper I've gone for is Thibaut Courtois of Belgium and Real Madrid. So the goalkeeper is obviously the standout pick for Belgium, although they've not actually kept a clean sheet in competitive games in the last year. Not while Courtois has been in the team anyway, but he is likely to be the first choice goalkeeper in the upcoming World Cup, and I wouldn't bet against him getting some clean sheets in these games, especially against Morocco and Canada. So he is my goalkeeper pick for this group. Moving on to defenders then, the first player I've gone for is Samuel Adekugbe of Hatayspor in the Turkish Superliga, and also of course plays for Canada. Now this could be a potential budget pick here. It's not done too bad really for Canada in the competitive qualifiers. As you can see, he's got 97 here, 86 and a 64. So against Morocco he could potentially get a good score. He's only going for £5.88 at the moment. He's also got a 51.8 average in the last year as well for Canada. Another decent defender for Canada is of course Alphonso Davies, who is a lot more expensive than his teammate. He of course also plays for Bayern Munich as well, and as you can see in the last year he scored 1 goal and 2 assists for Canada in 5 appearances, which is looking impressive. He's got an average of 55.8 in times with FA's 5 scores. Up next we've got the only Moroccan defender I've gone for, and that is Hakimi of PSG. He's probably the best player Morocco have got at the moment in the ranks. In the last year, in 7 appearances, he's also scored 3 goals as well for Morocco. So he could get on the score sheet, especially against Canada, or potentially even get an assist, something like that. He's got an average of 69.3 for Canada over the last year in competitive matches. So moving on to a defender for Belgium then, and that is Tony Alderweireld of Antwerp. So this guy looks like a really solid pick for Belgium, especially if you want to stack him with Courtois. In the last year he started 7 games for Belgium, got 1 assist as well and 1 clearance off the line. As you can see, he's got some decent scores here as well, and an average of 60.5 in the last year for Belgium. So moving on to the midfielders now, and the first one I've gone for is Moroccan's Selim Amala, who also plays for Standard Liège. In the last year for Morocco in competitive games, he's started 6 games, scored 1 goal and also got 2 assists. So again, this is another player that might be able to shine in the game against Canada. As you can see, he has got some high scores as well here, probably against easier opposition though in the qualifying for the World Cup. His average is 50.5 over the last year. So in terms of the Canada midfielders, I've gone for Stefan Estequao of Porto. In the last year he's assisted 2 goals in 8 appearances. Got some decent scores here, as you can see. He's got an average of 58.4, which is looking good, and an all-round score of 19. So he could be a little bit of an outside punt potentially, maybe a cheaper option. And again, he's probably not going to do that well against Belgium or Croatia, but he might have a chance of maybe getting on the score sheet or getting an assist in the Moroccan game. So moving on to Croatia then, the first player I've gone for them in midfield is Lovro Magyar of Rennes. So for Croatia in the last year, he's started 3 games. He's also started 3 games off the bench as well, so it might be check if he's going to be starting. He's also scored 3 goals and got 1 assist. He's got an average of 54.7 as well in the last year for Turkey. As you can see in the last few games though, he has been a substitute, so it might be worth checking to see if he's going to be starting. A player that is set to start though for Croatia is Ivan Perisic of now Tottenham, and of course Croatia. So in the last year for Croatia, he started 6 of the games, scored 2 goals, 1 assist, which is looking a really good ratio. He's also got an average of 54.7 as well in the last year and in those 6 games for Croatia. Perisic usually performs at the big tournaments as well. As we know, it did knock England out of the World Cup last time out, so this guy is definitely a one to look at. Another good one is of course Luka Modric of Real Madrid and Croatia. So Croatia do look like they've got a pretty decent midfield with Perisic and Modric. This has been the case for a number of years now. And as you can see, he's got some fantastic scores as well on So Rare. The last year he started 8 games for Croatia, scored 4 goals, also got 2 assists as well. And there's a sea of green here on his score graph. He's also got an average of 69.8 as well in the last year, and a fantastic all-round score of 23.3 for Croatia over the last year. So this is looking a really good option. Might be a bit of a cheaper option as well, and I would expect that Croatia will qualify from this group. So moving on to the Belgian midfielders then, we've gone for Youri Tielemans here of Leicester City. So in the last year for Belgium, he started 6 games, 1 as a substitute. He scored 1 goal and also got 2 assists. As you can see here, he's on good form during this period, 75, 79 and 91. He's got an average of 58.3 over the last year. So he looks a good option for the Belgian midfield. But obviously the best option here in midfield for Belgium is Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City. So in the last year for Belgium, he started 8 games, scored 3 goals and also got 5 assists. This guy is absolutely a phenomenal player, which I'm sure you're all aware of. In the last year as well, he's also got an average of 78.1. This is just the competitive games, and his all-round score is 24.7. Kevin De Bruyne is probably one of the best footballers in the world at the moment, and is probably a really good one to have in your welcome squads, although he's not going to be coming at a cheap price. So moving on to the forwards then. The first one I've gone for Canada is Kyle Larin of Club Brugge. Now, in the last year for Canada, he's started 5 games, 3 as substitute. He's also scored 4 goals as well in those 8 appearances, which isn't looking too bad, so he could maybe be the guy that's going to get the goals for Canada. He's got an average of 46.5, could be a potential budget option if Canada are a surprise package. So another good forward for Canada is Jonathan David of Lille. Still only 22, so he's quite a young player still. In the last year for Canada, he started 10 games, scored 4 goals and 2 assists, which is looking really impressive. He's got an average of 54.3 as well in the last year. But we do have to remember, most of these games were against potentially poor opposition. So Jonathan David is looking another good option. So moving on to Croatia then, I've gone for Marko Livaja of Hajduk Split and Croatia. So in the last year he started 5 games, although these were sub-appearances, but he has scored 2 goals and got 1 assist in those games. As you can see from the recent qualifiers and Nations League games, he started as a sub most of the time, so you might want to check if he's going to be starting for Croatia in the upcoming World Cup. But he's the only decent forward I could find in the Croatia ranks. So moving on to Belgium then, the first player I've gone for is Michy Batshuayi of Fenerbahce and Belgium. So in the last year for Belgium, he started 6 games, 2 as a substitute, but he has scored 3 goals and also got 3 assists as well, so he's looking a really solid pick here. Although, if the next person does get back into the team after his injury, then Batshuayi could potentially be a substitute. That is of course Romelu Lukaku of now Inter Milan. So in the last year for Belgium, he's not featured that many times, probably due to injury, that sort of thing, but in the 2 games that he has played, he did score 1 goal. And if we look at the full picture of all the scores we've got available for Belgium, as you can see, he's got some fantastic scores here. He's got 14 goals, 2 assists in the last 14 games for Belgium in competitive matches. So I'm sure if he's fit, Belgium will be calling him up, and he could be a really good option in your teams for the World Cup in Qatar. That was all the players in Group F that I've managed to find who could perform at this year's World Cup. Now I'm going to show you my dream team for this group, my SO5 dream team. So here we are then, this is my Group F dream team. As you can see, I've gone for mainly for Belgian players, and I've got a Croatian player in there as well. So I've gone for Courtois and Alderweireld in the defence, so Belgium defensive stack there. But that's looking pretty solid. They should be able to keep at least 2 clean sheets in this group, I would think. Then I've gone for Modric of Croatia in midfield. He's probably going to be the main man for them. He's going to be taking corners, free kicks, that sort of thing. He might even be on penalties, so I think he's going to be a fantastic player to have in your squads, and he should be getting plenty of assists and goals, and I would expect Croatia to qualify from this group as well. Up front, I've gone for Romelu Lukaku. If he can get fit, he's going to be starting for Belgium, and he will be banging in the goals at the World Cup. And I've also gone in the extra slot for Kevin De Bruyne, who is absolutely fantastic for Man City and for Belgium. He is bound to be one of the star players of the tournament. Okay guys, so that rounds up the Group F summary, all the players that are available who will look decent for this upcoming World Cup. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, I've already covered Group A, B, C, D and E on the previous videos, so do check them out. I've also revealed my dream teams on those groups as well, so do check them out on this channel today. And guys, check out my Patreon as well, and check out SuraAssist.com, and stay tuned to the channel where I will be covering the remaining 2 groups, Group G and Group H. Okay guys, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you again soon.